What is going on, Barry's fans? Welcome back. I believe we're on episode 12 or something going on. We are in season 3, and we have finished the draft. If you haven't seen the last episode where we had the #1 overall pick, you need to go check that out. We're still working on getting those guys signed because we are approaching the trade deadline in season 3. Now, the Berries, take a look. We're 37-52. That's not good. We're 20 games out of first. That's not good. But we're tied with the Portland Beavers. We're ahead of the Astros. We're ahead of the Indianapolis Tornado. Remember, they are the former Oakland A's in this simulation. So we're not dead last, and we're better than our projections. I think we're projected to win like 53 games or something. So we're definitely ahead of projections. So we need to figure out what we're going to do at the trade deadline. When you take a look at the team, there's definitely some improvements that need to be made. Luis Ariz has come in. He's done well for us. Vidal Brujan has done well. Josh Naylor, we picked up, been solid. Tyler O'Neill, meh. Cody Bellinger's been decent, but the back end has not been good in our lineup. Nelson Velasquez, Averson Ortega has been hurt and really struggled. Justin Foscue has been abysmal. Jake Rogers is our catcher. That's enough said. So we need to upgrade at catcher. We need to upgrade at third base. We need to upgrade in the outfield because I'd like to get Cody Bellinger probably back to first base, although Luis Ariz is there. So we do have some flexibility in the outfield, but we need some depth there, and we need to improve on the left side or infield, definitely at third base or at catcher. Starting rotation, it's been kind of hit or miss. Zach Eflin has been decent. Ryan Pepio is probably on his last legs with this team. I think he's fairly popular, which would really hurt to move him out, but I think this might be a move we need to make. I think there's a solid players we could bring in for him. Griffin Canning has been okay for us. He's even eating innings. Grayson Rodriguez has struggled with a 4-10 record, but the 4.43 ERA hasn't been abysmal, given that he's been more of a reliever in the past few years. 97 ERA plus, so just below league average. That's okay. Jack Leiter's been very good for us. I've been very impressed. I know the ERA is approaching 4, but he's been very good. The bullpen, I'll show you better here. Sean Armstrong, 2.77 ERA, been very, very good. Carmen Mlodzinski, when he hasn't been overused, has been very good. Hobie Milner, very good. Back end of the bullpen, digging it. Chad Dallas has been all right. He's eaten a lot of innings for us. Brian Montez de Oca has been very, very useful for us. Joel Payamps is abysmal. The front end of our bullpen, Payamps, Manuel Rodriguez, Hayden Wisniewski have not been good. So we do need to add some more depth in the bullpen. It'd be really nice to add a big-time closer moving forward. But that's kind of where we're at here. So I think we're probably going to add a few guys to the trade block and see what we can kind of bring in. My thoughts is Ryan Pepio. Let's check it out. He's unknown nationally, unknown locally, actually. So the popularity and morale status that we haven't really looked at in the past, I am finding it does make a bigger deal. So we are going to add Ryan Pepio to the on the block, put him on the block and see what comes in. Contract wise, we have him for this year, $2.4 million. He is, I believe, going to be a free agent for us after that. We need to take a look at our free agents, who is going where at the end of the season. We still have Luis Ariz is a free agent. We're probably going to try and re-sign him, or we could move him out here. So we'll see what we'll do. We'll probably put him on the block, see what we bring in. We have a team option for next year on Zach Eflin, probably a guy we'll put on the block, see what we can get for him. If we don't really like what we're getting, we can bring him back for next year. Ryan Pepio still actually has 2 years left arbitration, so this might be a good time to move him out and get full value. Joey Bart, Jake Rogers are both have a year left arbitration. We'll probably move on from one of them. Joel Payamps, we'll put him on the block. I doubt anybody will really want him. We'll see what maybe he can bring in. The big one is probably Tyler O'Neill. I'm going to shop Tyler O'Neill around. We are locked into Cody Bellinger. We are locked into Josh Naylor. So Tyler O'Neill on the block maybe makes a little sense. We still have a year and a half towards free agency. So we'll see what maybe we can get for him as well. Not a player I'm desperate to move on from, but we will see what's available there. Esteban Florial is down our minor league system. He will be gone. Alexander Montero, again, minor league system. He will move on. So there are some players that we can move out here and put on the block, and we'll see where the trade deadline kind of takes us here. I don't know if we're going to make a bunch of moves this time, but it may be a good chance for us to maybe build on some key pieces on the future. Trading block there, you can see Edwin Diaz, David Bednar are on the block. Kevin Gossman is on the block. Now, the reason why I'm looking at some of these guys, it's to make a trade for them. If we to trade for them and then sign them and try to get ahead of the free agency game here a little bit. Yes, it would cost us some prospect capital. We don't have a ton of it. It's all at the lower minor leagues. So if we can move some guys out, though, and bring in some talent and get them signed, that may be a very good way to kind of acquire some talent ahead of time. Devin Williams, Tanner Scott. We could really use a back end of the guy like a Bednar or Diaz. Keep in mind, they are going to be free agents, I believe, both of them. A Framber Valdez might be a nice pickup that way as well. In terms of the batters, not nearly as much there. Chas McCormick, Yoramita Shimada, nothing that really fits. Nick Castellanos doesn't really fit what I'm looking for. Chas McCormick might if we moved on from like a Tyler O'Neill, but we're kind of looking to see what happens there. Upcoming free agency. So there you have your Chas McCormick, Ian Happ, Jazz Chisholm Jr. is a player that might be interesting. We'll probably look to move Luis Ariz, although he might be a player we bring back next year to fill in at first base. Nathaniel Lowe, Randy Arozarena, good players in the outfield. So there is some opportunities from free agency. We do know that. As far as the pitching end, you can see Edwin Diaz, David Bednar, Kevin Gossman. The guys, the top end guys that are on the block right now are free agents in the offseason. Guy like Dylan Cease might be a really nice pickup. So there is an opportunity for us to add in terms of players and then try to sign them rather than making use of them as kind of rentals. So we'll maybe see where that takes us. But for right now, probably going to be a little bit slower deadline. We'll see what materializes as we put guys on the trade block. Now, as far as draft picks, we have signed a few guys. We still have Tim Clare and Trey Rangel we are negotiating with. I didn't have enough money in terms of budget for draft budget, but I did have more money in terms of signing availability for budget there. So I am able to, looks like, signing all of these guys. And as far as our minor league system, we've actually added our number 1 overall pick. Grady Emerson is in A-ball. He has been moved up there because the rookie league team is done. So I want him getting some at-bats at A-ball, as well as Ian Kaczynski, our number 2, our second overall pick, I believe, switch hitting first baseman that we picked up. He is going to also start in A-ball right now and try to get some games in this year with the 57s. There you can see Grady Emerson. So hopefully we can get them some innings and some games here at A-ball and see how they do there. They probably could end up back at rookie ball next year. We'll see. We also have last year's first overall pick, Brady Ebel. He's been playing with the 57s already. He is struggling at A-ball in the first 5 games, but he had a 156 OPS plus with rookie leading in Medicine Hat. So it was time to challenge him at the next level. He probably has to repeat this level next year. Maybe all 3 of these guys kind of bunch together the next couple of years. We've got guys like Case and Evans here as well. So Adonis Guzman has been solid in the past at times for us. So we are adding some talent at the A-ball level. Danny Everingham was also a draft pick. He was a 5th overall pick for us, our 5th round pick for us. He's also going to start here at A-ball. We're just getting as many guys as we can. Miguel Simon Jr. is a player from last year who's had 1 start, I believe, now at A-ball as well. He got blown up in that start, but we are trying to move our talent forward a little bit faster here to see how it turns out. So it's a big step at A-ball, the full season league. So we'll see what happens with those young players. So we are shopping starting pitcher Ryan Pepio right now, and there's a lot to like in what the offers are coming back. Shortstop Noelvi Marte from Cincinnati. You look at the numbers, really good, solid defense. He would definitely fill in at third base for us. He's a better third baseman this time than a shortstop, so this would really fit our need here. 45 overall, 50 potential. His contract, he's only spent a little bit of time in the majors in this simulation, still kind of establishing himself there. You look at the contract, he would still be, in fact, on pre-arbitration contracts. So that is one option in moving out Ryan Pepio. Option 2 is first baseman / second baseman, mainly first baseman now, Edward Julian. This would really fit a need for us. We could move off of Luis Ariz, bring in Edward Julian. The eye, the on base, all of that is very good. He is popular and very popular locally. So that would help us in terms of some of those other metrics with our ownership. His contract, he's still on an arbitration, $2.28 million. Looks like he's got a couple more years of arbitration still to go. He's probably further ahead in his major league development than Noelvi Marte. You see in the simulation, 119, 133, and 100 OPS plus each year with the Twins. Batting or on base percentage well over 350 1 year, right around that 350. Very good numbers there. So Edward Julian is someone we're really looking at there. And the last one is outfielder Drew Gilbert. I think this might actually be the best player, but he's not really known as much in terms of popularity and building those metrics. But look at the numbers, the contact, the power ability. He's a solid left fielder. We could move off of Tyler O'Neill, get what we can back for Tyler O'Neill. He has established himself in the major leagues at this season, hitting at 102 OPS plus, solid enough average, decent on base. Slugging still isn't quite where I'd hope it would be, but he does have 6 home runs, 28 walks, and 43 strikeouts in the 58 games he started. So this is the 3 we're looking at, and a 51 overall, 60 potential. This could be the star in the making the outfield for us that we could really bring in Drew Gilbert. So we have some deals. We've done some shopping around, and I think these are really going to help us. It's going to hurt our starting pitching, but this is going to help us win later, I think. We are going to send starting pitcher Zach Eflin to the New York Mets for left fielder Drew Gilbert. You look at the stats, not a great speed, but he can play the outfield very, very well. Great power, still some potential with the eye. He's establishing himself at the major league level, only 25 years old, almost 26 years old, still on pre-arbitration. This is the type of player we really, really need to increase our talent base. So we're going to bring in Drew Gilbert here and send out Zach Eflin, who we have for one more year. But I think this is the most value we're going to get for him. So we are going to make this trade, Zach Eflin for Drew Gilbert. Next up, we're going to send starter Ryan Pepiot. Yes, another starter, but an original Barry at that. I believe actually our first overall pick in the expansion draft. So Ryan Pepiot is going to go out the door. We're bringing in first baseman Edward Julian, the Canadian. He's going to play first base for us. He's probably going to try and develop him as a third baseman. He can play third. I do worry about the defense though, but hopefully we can use the training lab a little bit in the offseason, maybe increase his ability at a different position to help us out a little bit more. You see the eye, you see the contact ability, very much a Luis Ariz replacement. He's still signed through arbitration. We can extend him long term. Very, very good hitter. We can play him at first base though, because they're going to also move out Luis Ariz. 56 overall, 56 potential. Very, very popular nationally and locally for us. This is a huge get for us, in my opinion, for a starter who's basically worn out his welcome in Ryan Pepiot, who has really struggled in his 3 seasons with the Berries, trying to be our ace. I think this is really going to help us move forward the next few seasons. So yes, in the end, we are going to trade Luis Ariz and some cash for Noelvi Marte. I am finally going to pull the trigger on this deal. And I think this is really going to help us here. We'll see what the money value is. Maybe we can make this work. Hopefully we can. It looks like we might be able to do it straight up. And yes, it looks like it is. So we're going to help ourselves a little bit of money as well and trade out Luis Ariz. Noelvi Marte can play third base, probably better than any third baseman we have. That will free up first base for Edward Julian. I think this makes sense all the way around. Our starting pitching is going to be atrocious. We know we're going to have to fix that in the offseason and free agency. But this is bringing a lot of young talent. So now our lineup is going to look a lot better, in my opinion. And now we're going to actually use some of our financial might as well. And we are going to trade out Tyler O'Neill. We've shopped him around. And there's a starting pitcher, Robert Gasser, 27 years old. This is what we need in terms of starter. This just replaces Ryan Pepiot. We've increased our starting rotation here with Robert Gasser, who's been a league average or better in this sim with the Brewers. I think this is huge for us. Tyler O'Neill is getting up there a little bit, 31 years old. I know it's going to hurt and anger the fans a little bit, but I think Robert Gasser really, really is going to help us in terms of our starting pitching, and maybe he can become the ace that we've finally been looking for. So we're going to make this deal happen as well. In the end, it's only going to cost us $2.4 million. We have around $19 million to play with. This really works. So we're getting starting pitcher Robert Gasser, moving out Tyler O'Neill. That makes Drew Gilbert our starting left fielder. We're getting younger in left field. We're getting more dynamic. I think this really, really is going to help our organization moving forward. So 2 big deals there, getting Noelvi Marte to play third base, Robert Gasser going in the rotation. Things are starting to come together for the Berries. We got one more 4-minute run here in terms of the trade deadline. We'll see if we get any offers, but I think we're probably done here, and we'll show you what has happened with the team. And there has been a ton of changes. So just taking a quick look at the upcoming free agents: Kevin Gossman, Dylan Cease, Brian Abreu, Jesus Luzardo, Luis Severino. There are some depth starters as well here. So we're going to have to add a little bit in the offseason in terms of free agency, but hopefully we can put this together here and take a looking at our Berries lineup. So there you have it. That brings us to the end of our trade deadline. Hopefully we can pick up a few more wins the rest of the year. We are 41-62. So let's take a look. This is the new lineup. Edward Julian is going to play first base and lead off for us. Vidal Brujan has been playing very, very well at second base, switch hitter. He will continue to hit second in this lineup. Lenyn Sosa is coming back. That'll move Brujan to more of the utility role. Josh Naylor is going to continue DH and play and he hit third. Noelvi Marte, that's tough because I've got so many good lefties. I need a righty in here, so that's something we need to address. Noelvi Marte is going to play third and hit cleanup for us. Cody Bellinger is going to play right field for us, continue to do so. Averson Ortega is going to be our shortstop. Drew Gilbert will move into left field for us. Very, very lucky to get him. I think this is a big pickup for us. Jake Rogers is going to be our catcher, and then we need to fill center field right now, and it's going to go back to Christian Robinson. So that may be something we need to address in the offseason, but I think this is a very, very solid lineup. In terms of the rotation, we've called up Efrain Contreras. He's going to fill in as a starting pitcher. Maybe he can have a good run here. We will see. He's a pickup we got last year. Griffin Canning, Grayson Rodriguez, Jack Leiter, and now the newly acquired Robert Gasser. Gasser's just down in the 5th spot only because he just pitched recently, so he needs to build his rest back up. Bullpen is going to look exactly the same. So there is the team for the Berries moving forward to the rest of the season. Thank you so much for tuning in for all this Berries action. I hope you really like this type of content. We have made a ton of adjustments to the team in terms of our organization and strategy and front office. We have definitely made some improvement, a little bit improvement maybe in terms of fan interest. Hopefully with bringing Edward Julian is going to help there. The loyalty and market size are still pretty poor that way. In terms of salaries, though, looking forward, we have $109 million in salary this year. It's projected $128.3 next year with some arbitration guys up for. We'll see what we can do there to maybe trim a little bit of that payroll. Cody Bellinger's goes up to the most. There is an opt-out coming out, though, and Josh Naylor is our highest paid guys. Hobie Milner might be a player that we can move on in the offseason, depending on what we can bring in. But payroll-wise, I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think the arbitration cases might be boosting up a little bit, guys like Julian and Brendan McKay and some of these guys that are injured as well. So we need to address catcher as well. But I think we're in a really, really good spot moving forward. I think the lineup is going to be so much better. It's going to be the pitching we need to address and the depth in the bullpen, because we really don't have anything coming yet at AAA, as they're still very, very bad, and we'll do what we can there. We do have a little bit of depth coming for hitters, but in terms of the pitching, as you can see, it's pretty ugly at AAA, and AA is even worse. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate all your guys' support here. If you are into this kind of content, make sure you comment "Go Berries Go," or comment who you think I need to acquire in the off season. Maybe a Kevin Gosman, maybe a Dylan Cease. As always, make sure you go check out some of the other content here on 3 Up, 3 Down. I appreciate all your support. Till the next time, take care, everyone.